Welcome back, everyone. My name is Anne Rainton, and this is a series on Who's That Image Consultant, where I am interviewing consultants from all around the world to find out what it's like to be an image consultant. So if you're thinking about being one, or you're wanting to work with one, you get a better feel for who they are and what they are about. And today's interview is with Fiona Carey, who is in the capital of Australia, Canberra. So welcome, Fiona.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me, Anne. I really appreciate it.
Oh, it's lovely to have you here. Now, I believe that you didn't start your career off in Australia. Is that correct?
That is correct. I was actually living over in the UK for a number of years, as many people from Australia make the trek over to the UK. And I was actually working over there as an accountant, which was in my previous life, and had an early midlife crisis and decided that actually I wanted to do something completely different. And it was one of those light bulb moments after I'd been to an image consultant myself and ended up bringing loads and loads of people to this particular image consultant that I thought, you know what, this is exactly what I want to do. I loved seeing the transformation for people, and I thought this is the path I want to go down. So I actually started my career over in London, knowing that we would be moving back to Australia and giving me that experience over there before I came back to Canberra.
That's great. Who did you train with?
I actually trained with Toshiko Kabati. So she is an independent consultant and trainer over in London, and her business is Talking Image. So she has been a wonderful mentor as well for me too, which has been great.
That's fantastic. Now, that's a really big change from accountant to image consultant. That must have taken a lot of thought on your part about making that transition.
Oh, absolutely. And a lot of fear about what other people would also think. Because, you know, I had this career. I had a good income, I had a career path. And to turn around and say to people, you know what, I'm going to do something very different now and go down this path. And it was starting from scratch. You were starting absolutely from scratch. So what I did is I really thought about how I would build up a business and the timing and what would be the right time. And for me, I chose mat leave to do that, which in hindsight is not necessarily the best time to start a new business. But anyway, it did give me, I guess, a bit of time to, one, train, and two, also figure out what I really wanted to do with my business and not feel under a lot of pressure to really get things going straight away. So if I was recommending to anybody else, I would say it's almost like you need to transition yourself from one to the other, especially if you don't have a big base of savings or something behind you as well.
Yeah. So you must have had some important people really supporting this decision of yours. Is that correct, or maybe not?
Yeah, no, definitely. And look, my husband was extremely supportive of me making this change. I wasn't particularly happy in the role that I was in previously, and he could see how passionate I was about image consulting and creating that business and life for us as well, and also having that flexibility with having your own business. So he was an amazing support for me, and of course friends and family as well.
That's great. So you trained, and then how long before you started actively trying to get clients?
So I was one of those people that were a little bit nervous to start with. I did a lot of work with friends and family, I guess, to get that confidence up and really feel comfortable with charging people for a service. And I know many new consultants would feel that way. So look, I think it probably took me about 6 months before, but at the same time, I was still finishing off in my previous role as well. So on weekends, what I would do is I would actually do consults. So it was really 6 months before I started building up the business and feeling comfortable to charge people. In hindsight, I should have just started charging people straight away.
Sometimes in the beginning, we can fall into the trap of mates rates and family rates, and we don't feel worthy of charging because we feel that we're just not experienced enough. But I think that when you're trained really well, you are given a great platform of information. And I think we forget how much the public doesn't always know about dressing and how eager they are for the information. And when you're taught well, you've got a great amount of knowledge to be able to help someone. So starting right off the scratch by charging a professional rate, it can feel awkward, but there's every reason why you should do that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I totally agree with that. And a great mentor once said to me, you only need to be one step ahead in
Yes.
terms of teaching somebody, because you know that one thing more than that person knows. And being trained well, you actually know a lot more steps and a lot more than what our clients do. So.
That's fantastic. So over the time, have you developed a particular target market?
Absolutely. And it's really interesting. It has changed a lot. When I started out, I had in my mind who I'd like to work with. And it's once you start working with people, you realise who you actually really want to work with. So my target market is women who are 35 plus, and they are busy professionals, and they are people who, it's not that they don't love fashion, it's just that they're so time poor that they want some help and want someone to do it with them. Not necessarily for them, but with them, and to show them how to put things together. So that's very much my market. They're not fashionistas, they don't want to be on the latest trends or anything like that. They just want to present the best version of themselves.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that I really enjoy, is that we want to empower women. It's not about making them absolutely reliant on us, although you can make that your business model. But when you empower someone to understand why things are suiting them and how to look for certain things, then yes, you relinquish some of that need for you, but then they come back for other things, because there's so many things we can teach them.
Absolutely. And that's the thing I find, is that there's so much satisfaction as well when people put things together themselves. You know what it's like when you learn a new skill and you go, yeah, I've got this. And it doesn't mean not going to see you again, like you just said. It's just they realise the value of the time saving it is to do things with you. But at the same time, you're giving them that confidence that they know they can do it themselves as well.
And when you moved back from the UK back to Canberra, how difficult was that for you to pick it all up and start from scratch?
It was challenging because, even though I was originally from Canberra and I had my networks, the network sort of had to change. My network was very much in a corporate background, which did help because obviously I had contacts there. It was really about getting out there and people and doing a lot of networking. That's what it really took in the beginning. And it was networking in women's business groups mostly. And that really, really helped in terms of building my profile, finding collaborations, getting to know more people in Canberra. So, yeah, it was very much networking that was the key to sort of building things here.
Do you have a blog that people can go and read?
Yeah, so I actually just started video blogging. I'm up to episode 35. So every week I release a retail review. And in the past, I wasn't very consistent with my content. And I've noticed over the last sort of 7 months of being really consistent with content on a weekly basis has really increased website traffic, social media interaction, and also the level of inquiries that are coming through and bookings as well. I should have been doing it years ago.
There's a fear factor about getting in front of people on a video, isn't there?
Absolutely. And I'm not a writer. And I'm not saying that it's just not something that I find easy to do. I find it much easier to talk. So, and once you have it on video, you can get it transcribed and then put into blog posts and things like that as well. I guess my tip is, if you are starting out as an image consultant and you know really who you want to serve, then work out what your clients really wants to learn about and then create consistent weekly content. around that.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Wrapping it up, do you do any speaking engagements?
Yes, so I run workshops for the Canberra Centre here. And so I tend to do 2 big workshops for them a year. And then I've done a number of other corporate workshops and speaking events as well. So it is something that I try to do regularly. One, because it's great practice in terms of getting up in front of people and speaking, and also demonstrating to yourself that you really know your stuff, and pushing yourself a little bit further in terms of researching and staying on top of current practices, trends, all of that type of thing. And it's also a really great PR and lead generator as well for you. So highly recommend speaking.
So let me end with this. If you had to go back and give your earlier self some advice, what would that be?
Oh, that's an easy one. The thing that I didn't do very well at the beginning was to back myself and put myself out there. And a lot of it has to do with fear. You know, it's something new that you're doing. So you're sort of like, you know what, I'll work with some clients, they'll talk about me, you know, and that's the way that people will come into the business, or that's how I'm going to generate leads. And yes, that will happen. You will get word of mouth referrals and things like that. But you also have to be willing to stand out, put yourself out there, no matter how scary it is, because that's the way that you are going to be able to share your knowledge with other people. People can't come and find you if you don't put yourself out there.
Absolutely. You know, they call it the imposter syndrome. We all have that secret fear that someone's going to find out we're the fraud that we know where we are, because we're new and we have all those insecurities. Something I learned is that there is an audience for everybody. So no matter how you like to dress, no matter what your age is, no matter what your shape is, no matter whatever, as long as you have the enthusiasm for what you do and you have some knowledge there, if you are willing to get out and promote yourself, you are going to find clients. It's just a matter of being consistent and persistent, because you can't just do it every now and then. You've got to do it for a while, because that's just what it takes. And you will start to find an audience no matter who you are.
That is so true. Like, I'm not right for everybody. I'm not everyone's cup of tea. And, you know, in the beginning, I think, oh, that used to scare me or make me feel a little bit uncomfortable. But now it's a realization that, you know, when I look for people in terms of to find advice from, or mentoring from, or, you know, learn from, you're attracted to particular people because of either their personality or their values or how they operate, or the convenience. So it's just understanding that you're going to be right for some people and you're not going to be right for other people. And that's absolutely fine. And that there's actually plenty of work for everyone if you attract the right tribe.
Yep, there is. Well, Fiona, thank you for your time today. I am so grateful and so proud that you are a member of the Image Innovators team. It's absolutely a joy always to talk to you. And
I love being part of Image Innovators, and your products and your services and the community that you've created is absolutely brilliant.
Oh, thank you. We try very hard to make all that sort of stuff really first class. So thank you for your time today, Fiona. It's been absolutely wonderful. And for those of you who've been listening in, I hope you enjoyed it. And we will be talking to another consultant next week. So from Fiona and myself, it's a bye for now.
Bye-bye.